Now, hi everyone. Uh, yeah, I can see myself, so that's better. We've been going through some ups and downs recently. We are guessing that this is for more people. Anything that happens to us always happens to more people. So recently, those energies are really asking you to make your mind, to choose your path, to make the decision, to take those first steps, and stop living in those dualities. And basically, what's happening, those energies will be manifesting more and more in those extreme ways as long as you will not be able to make up your mind, so that you're gonna be facing those final choices. Like the energies will be pushing, like, are you in, are you out, what are you doing, are you gonna wait, are you afraid, are you making this change? So all those thoughts and thought processes that you're gonna be making, they're gonna be manifesting, and they're gonna be asking you to find this right balance and choose your path. So as long as it's coming to this moments of deciding on your way, like which way you want to go, they're gonna be asking you to find your peace and just don't be afraid about whatever path you're gonna be taking. As long as it's gonna be taking you towards evolution, you're gonna be finding those inner peace, this inner peace that's gonna be making it like a confirmation that that's the right path for you. That it's living in a dualities, it's just such a waste of energy, because it's you're living as in two timelines, right? Like one way, you try to evolve, you try to live this new life, and there is this old patterns that are kind of coming to repeat or reminding about themselves. So it's just, this is like more an active step in this ascension process, the way I see it. Like it's really asking you to test you. Are you ready? Do you feel ready? Because the energies will always work with you, but are you making a conscious choice for this shift? So that's an introduction from me based on what I've realized like the recent couple days. I'm gonna be happy to hear any other people's stories if you are facing similar things. And Theo, microphone is yours.
All right, thank you, baby. Um, guys, yeah, I want to say something before I started up here. The journey is very interesting. Actually, right now, the journey is getting very interesting. Even that lately, in the past, I would say you check yourself out 2, 3 weeks ago. What happened to you? And you're gonna check out yourself until today. Dualities. Why do you have the dualities in there? Here is one thing before we get started up here. The dualities is like they're the triggers within you to show you two opposite sides of you. Okay, how you think? You think from the lower self or the higher self up here, and especially I'm talking about personally me, the energies I have to go through it. Okay, is that is the past is repeating again. It is the past is happening again. It is the situations that it's going on and so on. What is this within me? It comes into that the limit point that the journey itself is going to be asking you to come to this boiling point. And that boiling point, it is, are you going to act on the base of your own self? But that is going to be triggers the duality. Are you going to overcome yourself and then keep on going as the evolution comes in? Or the new self and the higher self are basically inside of you. They're going to have that internal fights within yourself. This is going to be very heavy energies in there. And in order you to understand this, the higher you will go in the spiritual realm, the more grounding you are going to need to maintain the balance within yourself. Okay. And that balancing in there is going to bring you the inner peace. Grounding, that is a go out in the nature, go barefoot, go take a cold shower, go with no clothes or stuff, and so on and so on. You have to learn how to ground yourself out during these moments. Number two things I want to say is during those fights in there within the duality, you are going to be tempted to act of the old self. There's going to be a one thing you need to kind of like, we're giving you a heads up, guys, up here, okay? Those are very important things. Don't take actions. You can go ahead and say, you know what, I'm working on myself because you have fight within your old self and the new self. And if your partner comes in exactly at that boiling point, you boil it. And guess what? You can get that energy to your partner. You have to go ahead, maintain that boiling point, not allowing that boiling point to pass it over to your partner. You can tell them, hey, listen, I got my own aha. I'm fighting with myself. I need to figure it out myself. Just not at the moment. This is going to help you because the evolution is going to be asking you to go through this boiling point. And it's may going to look like you sad or mad at your partner or this and that and so on. No, you as a partner, the lower self with the higher self, when you get those upgrades with the evolution, is going to ask you to act in a certain ways. Are you going to act in the new, mature, beautiful way? And when you do that, the peace is coming as a Paulina stalking. And when a daddy comes in, the evolutions is bring you in the next steps of the ascension. But yeah, you're gonna go through this heat wave. You're gonna go through these energies. You're gonna have to go ahead and ground yourself out. You need to go ahead and go through all these processes in there. But through all those situations within, when you win, when you win that battle within yourself, that is going to be the battle of success within yourself, leading you on a path of evolution and ascension from that moment forward. You're going to feel it differently. You're going to feel wise. You're going to be feel like, yes, I conquered myself. Then you're going to tell your partner what you've been went through it, maybe in a day or two, and so on and so on. It's very important because this is a energies that it's testing you of that lower moments within yourself. Okay. So that's kind of like from me. I mean, darling, if you want to share something out for it, so on your side.
Yeah, I wanted to share a little bit different perspective or the other side perspective because if you're on the other side of the fence and you know that your partner is working on something, it can trigger some of the old fears, like especially if you have been abandoned, but then the twin flame connection, you know exactly how it feels, and those insecurities can come in. And I was trying to understand, how much more work has to be done just to avoid those things. Like those things are not comfortable. They are not meant to be with us in the process. And all I found is just this is some old attachment issues that we have. That you're acting based of fear, like you're afraid of losing the connection. You're afraid that it's gonna be, the story will repeat itself and then there will be abandonment again. But this is a very good time just to observe, why you're acting like this or why you feel this way. Like, I'm really afraid, we should not be afraid to lose anyone here. Like, you cannot really lose anyone here. It's just you may part ways, but we are still all together. So a little bit of this analysis comes, and it's not for the sake of, oh my god, I have to overanalyze the whole connection. It's just, okay, why do I feel those fears? Because where there is fear, there is no love. So it can create all this unnecessary tension, but it just comes from time to time to remind you that you, in the end, like, you're on your own. Like, you will get helpers on the way, you will get people who will be joining you, but you just have to act from this space of faith that, whatever comes and whatever has to stay with you, it will stay. And you cannot grasp onto that. If someone is asking you for space, you have to respect that. Some of those battles, as Dio was explaining, like, you have to fight on your own. And all you can do is just, you as a partner, if you see that your counterpart is going through those difficult times, you just hope for the best. You trust that they can do it, because that's how you build this trust over weeks, months, years. that you prove to yourself that things get nasty sometimes or difficult, but you judge things not from the space of the moment emotion, but based on this experience you have with this person, because you see, oh, anytime we were going through this, maybe this one feels really heavy, but I know that previously we were been through that, so it's all I can do to trust that the person will be doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that was a lot of, I would say, the detachment from the person, but on a 3D level. That's what a journey is asking you all the time, right? Like sometimes they just ask you about abandoning this ideal vision for a person that you have in your mind, because you're supposed to continue journey on your own. And even if you will have a connection that will be coming to you and you will start building the union, they will be still asking you the same thing, like, are you still attached to the person? So the only way out I found for myself is just to really rebuild this image of me as an individual. I still have my life. I am for me. And of course I want to build something with someone, but it cannot be based on the fear of losing something, someone, because those connections are not supposed to be built this way. They Anytime you will go through this route, you can see how the connection is getting a bit weaker, or it can feel a bit lower, or there will be some, you will feel that something is off. Like it's really easy. We are getting, and everyone is, as you work with those soul connections, you're getting more sensitive. So you perfectly know how the peace feels like. But if something is off, you're gonna feel it right away. And most of the time, those are the moments that one of us maybe forgot a little bit, like where are those priorities, or is there a balance? Are we on the same page? Are we giving the same amount of from each other within the connection? That's how I saw it. If you, because we have tendencies to forget about ourselves sometimes, right? So that's, those connections are just suffering through those kinds of moments.
Uh, this is gonna be very interesting in there, specifically within the relationship. That is a when in a normal relationships, okay, normal relationships. When you are at your partner because something from within yourself, without realizing it's your own personal reason in there. This is a when you are mad at during the ignition state after the bubble zone comes out with that person, you're getting angry at your soul connections that you feel all this energy of love and so on and so on, and they don't act the way you wanted it because you're demanding that. You're finding all those old um, I would say kind of like internal belief systems in yourself that you're going to be have to face them so you can purge them out. And that is a personal work, okay? But after you face them out, you purge them out in there to it, you're going to be feeling evolved. And there is a coming this for it is like when you listen and the this evolution and that part of the evolution is gonna comes and it's like when are you gonna stop acting the old way? When are you going to stop thinking the old way? Where are you gonna be doing it the things in a very old way? That is going to set up a path for actual union. This is going to be a test. Can you survive it? These kind of like a heat waves of those kind of like intense energies that are going to come in. You survive through this. I can tell you, your relationships will survive big time. Okay, because you actually you prove to yourself that you change on a base of your spirituality inside of yourself. And when you do that, okay, you are gonna be so so much in internal peace within yourself, but then the internal peace and the love is gonna increase within the connection, which is actually the connection is ascending. If you take a look at it on that for it, this is kind of like a, you moving through the Repeating kind of like at the stages of the twin flame, but this time you are doing it within the 3D. You are practice it within the union, within the 3D, the stages that you have. And then your action, your behavior, your belief system is completely renewed because you did not act the old way. That is going to be the sign that you win over the duality between the new self and the old self within yourself. And this is why we're making it this video. Hopefully, people is gonna be taking it down the road with in this because it's gonna help you a lot. Specifically, people who are in a partnership and they are long distance relationships, or they actually in the premature union and they're now ready for the actual union. Yeah. I mean, just because you're in a physical realm together, that doesn't mean union, folks. Let me be clear. Just because you're in a physical person with that, that doesn't mean. If you have not united yourself within yourself, you haven't overcome your old self, you're bringing the old self into that relationship, which is his big time no no. You're creating a sacred relationship. Sacred. You have to become this. Yeah, you're gonna go through hell and you're gonna have to get cold showers and you gotta go get the cold water. Yes, you gotta go get grounded. Yes, you have to go through the hell like you're by yourself. It's like, you know what? I have to see this. This is not right within me because the fight is you with you. It's you with you how to put your act about your partner, not about your partner. Here is your old mistakes. The old ways is like, oh, well, the partner is about and this and this. And when you stop for a second, it's like, no, it's me. It's my own battle. It's my own situation. It's my old self. It's my codependency. It's my things. Oh my goodness, all this energy is coming out. And then when you win the fight, you're like, oh, well, now the journey paid off. Oh, but now my soul is happy. Oh, but now I'm a more wise. Oh, but I moved up. Now the energy is better because you conquered the part of yourself, of your old self within yourself, that you're not going to need it where you're calling. And you purge that out. Yes, you have to purge that out after that. You deal with that energy, you have to purge it out for it. And then you go back into the connection. And it's like, yeah, this is what I did. This is what I had a fight within me. I had a fight with me here. That's what happens. I went through a lot of but I'm still here. Okay. I learned about this. I evolved about this, and I got this through it. And guess what? This is also going to be a test on the front of the universe about your connection. And then the universe is like, okay, you guys asked to receive to here. There you go. Congratulations. It's in order. Okay. So that's about from me, guys. Darling, if you want you to share something.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the comment that Laura made. Definitely, my son and I have experienced this. Thanks for a confirmation. Actually, we had a nice discussion about those dualities, and it can bring me. It helps me to bring it to this bigger picture that it's yes, we are working with the soul connection. Sometimes some people are working within the partnership, but it looks like this is a collective wave that people are experiencing now. And all is it doing right now? It's really asking you. It's giving you this old ways, old patterns, old life. Maybe some people from the past, but coming back to you to show you that you're gonna still be repeating the cycle, the old ways, unless you put awareness and unless you made the choices that are need to be made and those changes. Because this is really, the more we work with that, we just see that it's nothing else really than replaying the old experience, but just with this new understanding and new awareness. And I'm not only saying about twin flame connections that we've experienced before. It goes beyond. It goes back to the states that we were even before awakening. We were playing the same scenario. The story is repeating itself. It's just asking to put this awareness in there and see the things that you've missed previously because you forgot about yourself, or you abandoned, or you were doing those things from this monkey mind that just kind of following the path. You didn't even question those choices you were making. Right now you're getting another shot just to make it with a clear consciousness, and just what kind of choices you have to do, not to limit yourself, just to bring a balance to the connection, to bring balance and understanding, communication, all of those things that are supposed to be built as a proper ground for the relationship. So that's how I see we are kind of repeating these spiral stories, right? And if you bring these expansions in that, that's how you're bringing the new, because not everything from the old or maybe from your previous life, it has to be dissolved or cannot be repeated or shouldn't be repeated, but there are always some things to improve it. Because the way I see on our connection, it's not asking to build everything from scratch. There are some similarities from the previous stories that we had. It just asks to see and understand what was wrong previously, right? And it's just asking, okay, I think you overlooked something in there. Like, can you make it work this time? And what has to be changed? So that's how I see it. It really starts with those choices, and you will be facing those dualistic situations because they will be giving your choice. Like, do you still want to repeat that, or do you want the new things? Like, are you excited about the new things? They can be scary because there's a lot of unknowns, right? Like, it's always easier to repeat the old patterns and just be in the same environment because you know what is there, even if it's not comfortable. It's not that easy to make the step for the new. But the moment you do that, like, in maybe those choices have to be made several times, because I was feeling I'm going back and forth until my mind was finally set. And that was the moment I felt, okay, that's the right path. And right now I don't have any expectations for the further guidance. I was looking for so many information, like, am I doing the right thing? Right now I know that's one path that I chosen. I don't look on other paths. So you're saving a lot of energy and just focusing, okay, what is the next step within this one new path? So, choices.
Those choices they're gonna coming in, and here is that you coming into that boiling water from the lower self in there, and you are kind of like this what we calling pot with that soup or situation and whatever it is, and the universe is out there and just, hey, how are you? How you feeling in there? Are you boiling in there? It's very interesting because during that, you're going to be reminded within the journey. You are going to be reminded a lot of stuff in there. And the universe is like, let me testing your strength. How strong do you are? You're going to feel those subordinary uh, events. That's what I'm calling them from within. Maybe similar like within a dark night of the soul and so on into it. But during of those moments, the evolution is going to be right there. It's going to be calling you. Are you going to evolve? Can you overcome yourself? Can you be able to achieve things? Can you be able to get the things differently? Think about it. What happened before when you were in this situation or situations? Oh, you're acting the same. What would you gonna do now? And this is what the evolution is gonna come in a health check. She's gonna be talking to you. See, the evolution is gonna be talking to your spirit at that moment. But since you are in that lower state within yourself, can you be able to hear it? If you have your permanent connection as you are within your own soul, the soul listens to the spirit and hear how the soul and the spirit the divine energies inside of you begins to work and you win the battle exactly with that. And then you will understand what was that journey of the twin flame personality that you got through it, and what else from your personality has to be purged it out. And out of that point, yes, it's not going to be comfortable for both sides. You're going to feel like you are tearing it apart. You're tearing it is, but it's only an energy. Because when you look at it deep underneath, there was no separation. It was just overcoming the limits of the lower selves for the benefits of the higher selves and the evolution itself. And this is how you win. But you need to understand the higher you go, repeating it again, the more you will need to ground, to break, to make this balance within yourself. Okay? Ground yourself out. Don't act at all. Even though that the energies may gonna be pushing you to act. That is in the moment when you overwhelm yourself, overcoming your own self of premature actions. It's like, I'm not gonna act for it. Let me see what is this energy is gonna come at. No, I'm not gonna act this way. Let me see what this energy will come. And guess what? You're not act on it. And that energy is like feel less and less and less. You're out of that boiling water and you're like, I'm going to be what I am meant to be because it is what it is. And out of that energy is in there, okay, you're gonna find not only peace, you're also gonna find a total new path of evolution, of ascension, of growth, maturity in there. And it's gonna be beautiful. This is gonna be a beautiful, guys. First of all, in yourself, and the second of all, towards your partner and towards the connection. And the connection is going to begin to reveal its purpose more and more. Okay. Things is going to start realigning the illumination state of both. See, before you had illumination state as a personality. Now, all the stages you're walking together. Now the illuminations of these processes are coming for both. You see, you walk in the same journey, but you're not alone. Certain portions you have to do it in yourself. Did you overcome that in a personal level? And can you overcome this when you are together in a relationship? And that's what the divine wants to see it. Are you ready? Are you already baked? Can you perform? And the universe is going to be testing you, but the evolution is going to be helping you big time. Okay, guys, listen down. Listen to evolution. That's from me, guys.
Yeah,
If
that's
you
a good,
guys have some any
that's a good
questions,
feeling.
you can ask about it. But
Mm.
sharing of things here. So,
Yeah, the evolution will be talking to you, right? Like you will feel that those uncomfortable things that they have to be made and those steps have to be made. One thing I wanted to add is, in those low moments, don't try to pretend that everything is fine. If there is something uncomfortable and you go through some stuff, you don't have to put it out to the partner, but at least inform it that you work through some issues. You can provide as much details that you need, but at least give some explanation, because you can feel it within the connection. Like you can feel when you're in this, it's not separation, but in this uncomfortable state, that something is not okay with your partner. The telepathy is very strong, so it's just for the sake of your partner, just tell them that you're going through this stuff, that you're aware, because just to avoid those fears, some of those things, like your partner will be working out because that's the part of their journey, but just to avoid unnecessary lack of clarity or the fogginess, let's make it easier for each other on this journey, to, of course, like if you're not aware of something, like you cannot say that, but if you're in these states and you had a tendency to just withdraw and just go to your cave without talking to anyone because it's too uncomfortable, just make this extra step and take a little bit of this effort to communicate that, because it's really helpful. Because it's whatever you it's happening after you've communicated properly, this is your partner's job just to work with that. But at least, so there is equality. Whatever you feel like it's worth sharing, don't be afraid of saying, oh, maybe she or he will be angry because I do something with me again, like I have some inner work again, it's not perfect. And because there can be some unnecessary fears on your side that, oh, I better not share it. I pretend everything is fine and it will go away. But there has to be communication in terms of those moments, because it's, as I said, like you can momentarily feel it when something is off. So you don't want to keep anything under the shadow, or thinking that, oh, your partner doesn't know about it, so let me just don't touch this topic. So that's probably good to remember.
Proper communication is always right. It doesn't matter what it is. And doing it this moments for it, when you have that fight within yourself, when it's time for you to purge that stuff, because you have to be fully submerged of those lower energies. When you're submerged in there, what do you do? What do you say to yourself is crucial and important. But if you prepare yourself to be submitted in that, and kind of like internally that the universe maybe is going to be in there pushing you through for it. If you win the battle in the 5D, okay, I had a conversation with someone today. If you win the battle in the 5D, you're going to be going to the duality and you're going to create the proper actions in the 3D. Then from the 3D, you are going to be reevaluating things in the 4D. And then you're going to get more 5D in there of what you have to do. Even in some of the things is not going to make sense for you. Let me explain a little bit right here. I'm going to give you some little bit of advanced tips. Imagine you see somebody right now, a human who it's maybe 1,000 years older than you. What are they going to tell you? And then you meet another person who is coming from the future 1,000 years up front, and they're all talking to you. And now you three have a conversations in there. And you will not going to understand certain things. Why did they happen? What is their purpose? From ascension point of view, you're not going to be able to comprehend the lower self of this 1,000-year-old. It's not going to be able to capable to understand the 1,000 year into the future. But you're the middle ground, okay? And those advanced things that's going to comes in from the 1,000 future energies in there, you're going to be really not comprehend. Oh, but why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And they only say that that's the way it is. You're going to find out. That is the process you go through. That is the situations that is there. You create uncomfortable situations. You create uncomfortable stuffs in there. And guess what? It is about something that the evolution is calling you to feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, you're facing the fears of the unknown. At the same time, you are evolving is in there. And now you clear the 1,000-year-old consciousness happening within you. As of right now, you're getting a guidance from someone who is 1,000 years ahead of you, and you're moving ahead because you're getting closer to this 1,000 years ahead of the future that comes towards you. This is why you're getting those downloads. You may not gonna understand certain things. One of the patterns that you need to understand is, first of all, why you're getting a map. And take a look from within yourself. Could you listen? The 1,000-year-old or the 1,000 year ahead of the future? How are you gonna bring them here in the present? Okay? Because if you look at it right now, the next year, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna be 999 years, 1 year understanding of that future, and you're gonna be letting it go of 1,001 year of old stuff outside of you. Okay? So here is how this maturity is gonna come in. That's gonna blessing the connection of that. In the first place, you may not gonna look at it into that, but overall, in there, you're gonna be able to process those high level of understanding of advancements that are coming in for you. You see, this 1,000 year old, that this 1,000 year person from the future connect to you. That's your future self. It came to you to guide you, to help you. Why? They believe in you. They believe in you. The divine wants you to be more happy up here today. More than you do. You might not gonna get it in that portion season there. And again, refrain from actions, proper grounding, and control yourself. Control the outside environment, not to become your inner environment, because that was the collective's energies. I spoke with other people, they had some similar situations, right? But when you control yourself, you respond to the collective energy. Now that is your power in that. How you will respond to this. And there. Uh, Alison Morris, I don't really have a question, but thank you. This is a very calming and peaceful what can feel difficult in this journey. Yes, the inner peace, the inner strength, Alison, is the power of the soul and the spirit of here. And let me tell you, we're both experiencing that. That's how our connection got based out of it right away. And I've been talking a lot, but I'm gonna let Paulina kind of like sharing some more about this inner peace energy.
Mm. Yeah, thank you. I was thinking, it's just it looks that if you really try to open yourself up, there will be always these moments of storms, and if your 3D situation doesn't match whatever was manifesting in those higher realms, just be prepared for the storms, and you will be sensing they are coming, they are coming, they are coming, and finally you will be getting all this information that yeah, that's the tower moment. So yes, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but it's just that's how it's manifested in 3D. So not judge those situations, and especially if the universe will be presenting you things that you never wished for yourself or you didn't know that you needed, it doesn't make sense to question them because you won't find the answers. Honestly, it's just that's the element of faith, that whatever is being presented to you, even if it doesn't match your current understanding, because all your life you were working towards something completely different. Why is this something weird coming to me this way, this lifestyle, this way of living? Like, do I really need it? So it's easy to find in this kind of like questioning, especially if there are additional fears. Am I gonna make it? And am I gonna like it? And all this stuff. It's like grasping their hand. They are reaching out to you with something that you didn't expect. It's not a certain way. It's not a certain location. It's not a certain house. It can be different. It's not a certain job that I wished for myself. But those kinds of changes that will be presenting to you, I would just advise, just take those risks, because it may feel like, oh my God, is it the right decision? At the same time, you have in the back of your head, If I don't take it, that means I'm staying in a old. Do I wish to stay in a old for myself? So this perspective of the old life, if you see how it's just keeping you in one place and it doesn't bring you anything new, anything positive, and there are things that have to be discarded, you have to make this transition. So it's just a little bit difficult, and when those things come to you in 3D, there's this direct confrontation, I would say, because your body may not react from this peaceful state. Your mind can be peaceful, or your soul will be guiding you through this process, but your body will be very uncomfortable, very tense throughout the process. So I would say that's why the grounding is so important, because it will help you to make those transitions easier. It's not supposed to be always smooth because you would get used to it. So there will be those storm moments. But at the same time, I saw that many people are just over dramatizing this journey, that this twin flame journey is so difficult. Just accept it, because it's very painful, very difficult journey, and this is just another extreme. So there's ups and downs, but it's in principle it's all towards your evolution. And just observe yourself if you're not falling into this extreme negative case that, oh my god, this is such a painful journey across the timelines and universe. That's kind of the narrative that it's around in the community, so just relax a little bit on that side. And this is like a constant balance, right? And it's always, if you choose the evolution, it will that's how we are bringing the experiences. They are comfortable, but sometimes they are not comfortable. But it's this uncomfort is just to show you what's the old, what is not fitting anymore. And we have to actively work with just kind of dissolving those things, or sometimes just not paying attention to those things anymore, and they will start dissolve naturally. But just that was the observation I saw, that it's important to find your balance with that and be gentle when those tower moments are happening. You may feel stepping back and forth several times, having conversations with people several times, but as long as your mind is set on this, finding the right path for yourself, you're gonna make it. It may take a bit longer, but you're gonna make it, because you will be guided by the soul. So you will be getting the proper choices sooner or later. Mm. Oh, we have a comment. Do you want to read it, or should I?
Bless you, beautiful souls, and thank you. Absolutely. I don't see any other comment to what.
Oh yeah. Oh, I missed the first one from Alison. Oh, sorry. Thanks, Alison, for those comments. We are happy to share, because it's, as I said, it's difficult, but it's not overly difficult and painful and all just grinding it out. It's just for us to make this experience a bit easier, a bit better, and just I think embracing the unknown as it comes, right? And really being open to what is presented to you, because you may not see the whole picture the same way as talking to people who are still holding on to the picture of a specific person, and they believe that their journey is supposed to continue with this specific person and no other person until the end of the life or lifetimes, whatever people are explaining that. Just be more flexible with that, because you're always matched with the person who can give you the most growth. And don't be hanging on to those labels that people are repeating. Um,
You gotta be free in there because here is that one thing, as a Paulina was talking, there's a lot of more information. That's how we work, guys. Okay, this is our conversations. We have a daily conversations. I don't know. We spent maybe what, an average 2 hours, 3 hours a day communicating, and the weekend it's more. But talking about this, not seeing the full picture, can you be able to see the full picture that 1,000 year into the future person tries to explain it to you? Can you be able to see the picture that was 1,000 years ago? Isn't there? And you're right now here sitting in that middle and that boiling. What is it the natural things when you are boiled and angry from within? Either you're gonna be explode or you're just gonna let to happen this heating exchange of grounding. See, the grounding has a one, it's all occultic mystery in there for it. And you need to understand, if you don't go down to the ground deep, deep, you won't be able to go high, high and above. There's going to be imbalance. And sometimes the divine is going to be pushing you to ground in order to expand and above. So it can be able to handle like those high vibrations isn't there. Okay. There is a lot of mysteries connecting exactly with this. But as we're talking about this balancing yourself out, you're going to be finding the winning of the fight within you with peace. It's like I'm not fighting as I'm not gonna acting as what I was. I am in process of evolving. I move for 1 year towards this 1,000 year journey ahead into the future. And I have 1,001 year behind me. Okay. So it's the same way, when you're driving a car, the only way you have to look back is the rear view mirror. That's it. But you have to be really aware of where you're driving now. Because if you focus so much on the rear view mirror, you can crash because that's what you're looking for, not where you're going. If you're focused on where you're going, you're forgetting where you got. But when someone is behind you, you see it. You see, that's what this is. This is the same thing. When your past is coming to you and it triggers you as like a car that comes from behind, how you gonna be act and react? Are you gonna be acting in a rage? You're gonna be acting in anger, and so on and so on. You're gonna create crash. You're gonna create problems, or you're just gonna be a this nice driver. Just move out. Here we go. Move. Let it go. Somebody's in a hurry up. Let it be in a hurry up. But now you're choosing how to act on it from different high evolving spirit on earth. Okay, guys, and that's my wish for you. Okay, that is my wish for you. Thank you, Erica. Thank you for the cards. So I don't know if you guys have so many questions for it. Please shoot. If not, uh, I don't know, Dominic, you wanna say something more?
Yeah, just read this last comment. My soul knows
Oh,
the way, but your words help and are a good reminder to stay balanced. Thank you. And hi, Erica. I think what else I wanted to add? I think about this like power of communicating with others. Not everyone was already matched with another partner, or sometimes like that's just the natural phase that you're dealing with this experience on your own, so you can prove to yourself. And there is no better or worse. It's just you attract whatever is most useful or helpful for you this right moment. So if you're in this stage that you may not have a partner, there's always someone within your community that can help. So maybe just a reminder for people who are following the twin flame community not to get too much attached to what other people are saying in there, just to work on your own understanding. And if you feel that some of those things that people are talking to you are telling around, they are not matching your understanding, instead of rejecting your understanding, just step back and just really listen to your inner guidance, because there is a lot of mess out there. And in the end, we have all the guidance we need. Because those journeys are so different, and just following someone else's path doesn't guarantee you that that's your way to move forward. So, but of course, it's always better to share with someone who has a similar level of awareness, because it creates this comfortable space, right? So it doesn't really matter if it's in person, if it's online, but just to have someone to bounce back those ideas, especially when we are dealing with those collective waves, sorry. that, this, we don't know what it is. Is it collective? Is it some people have tendencies to say, oh, this is some bad energy coming towards me, who is sending it? But sometimes those are just collective things, and they are meant to test you, to push the buttons. Sometimes people are pushing the buttons, but sometimes this collective energies will be just kind of surfacing what else it's there to be healed, to prepare you for the next stage. So that's it from me. Unless you want to have anything to add, thanks, guys, for sharing. Um, and I think if you have any ideas for the next topics, what you're currently facing or you need a clarity about, gonna be happy to share. And thank you.
Uh, what I wanted to say, Alison, that's a very good thing that you said. My soul knows in there. You need to understand that your soul is your GPS, okay, in your head. Okay, you have different navigation tool right now to navigate in your life. You listen at that soul until you're completely free. Okay, the soul is going to navigate you to get you out of this old 1,000 year old to move you to this 1 year ahead for it, and that is the right path. You just to listen to yourself. And that's also to all of you guys in there. Listen to yourself. Be honest. It doesn't matter what is going on. Doesn't matter what is it this. Be honest. Because you know what? The honesty on all levels triggers the honesty with everybody else. And you're honest to yourself, you're your true self. That what that 1,000 year ahead person wants from you. To become this real personality, have a real life, real experience as a soul on earth. Okay? Bringing the paradise on earth. All right, guys? That's all I have from you. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much. And see you next time. And hopefully, we're working here on the technical issues, but, we appreciate that you guys wait for it. Thank you so much, guys. Be love.
Thank you. See you next time. You're welcome.